Sairam students, hope all of you are doing fine. Today we'll be doing the second part of our chapter 8 of history and ideal ruler. In the first part we've already learnt about how Shivaji Maharaj had the organizational skills, his policy about the farmers, and how he had helped his associates as well. Okay, now today we will see other things which make him an ideal ruler. Okay, the policy of tolerance. Maharaj struggled against his enemies, the Adil Shah, the Mughals, and the Siddhis. They were Islamic powers. Okay, so when Shivaji Maharaj had started the work of establishment of Swaraj, he had conflicts with the Adil Shah, the Mughals, and the Siddhis as well. So they all were Islamic powers. But still, though he struggled against them, he considered the Mughals in the Swaraj as his own subjects. Yes, though his enemies were Mughals, yes, were Muslims, Mughals, they or even the Adil Shah and the Siddhis, though with the Islamic powers, he did not have a bias attitude towards the people in his kingdom or in Swaraj, and he treated them as his own subjects. Yes, Siddhi Ibrahim, Siddhi Lal, Daulat Khan, all these were trusted men of Maharaj. Yes, though they were Muslims, though they were Islamic, these people, Siddhi Ibrahim, Siddhi Halal, and Daulat Khan, all were trusted men of Maharaj. They were in the army and the navy of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. So here it shows that how tolerant Shivaji Maharaj was in regarding religious matters. This shows that Shivaji Maharaj had a tolerant religious policy. He considered all religions as equal. In enemy territories that he conquered, he continued the facilities that had been given to the Muslim places of worship. Unlike the Mughals or the Adil Shah or the Siddhi as well, when they invaded the territories of Swaraj or in the Deccan, what they used to do, they used to demolish the temples. Yes, they used to harass the people over there. But unlike them, Shivaji Maharaj, though he conquered enemy territories, he did not do such a thing. He continued the facilities that were given to the Muslim places of worship. Yes, so he did not cause any harm to the people of the Muslim religion. Kafi Khan writes about the tolerant religious policy of Maharaj. Kafi Khan was a contemporary historian, and what he's writing is Shivaji had framed strict rules for his soldiers that during the campaigns they should not harm a mosque. If they came in possession of a copy of the Holy Quran, they should hand over the same with reference to a Muslim. So this was the policy of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. Kafi Khan, a historian, writes that he had framed strict rules for his soldiers and had told them that wherever he would go, they would go for the campaigns, they would not harm any mosque. Yes, mosque is the worship place of the Muslims, like how we have temples. The Muslims go to the mosque for their worship. If they came in possession of a copy of the Holy Quran, they should hand over the same with reference to a Muslim. Like how Holy Quran is the holy book of the Muslims. Yes, so it is a holy book. So Shivaji Maharaj respected the holy book of the Muslims, and he also told them if by any chance if the soldiers came in possession of this holy book or a copy of Holy Quran, they would hand it over to the with reverence, with respect to a Muslim. So it would be taken care of by that particular person. So through these gestures, we can see how Shivaji Maharaj had, made rules for his soldiers so that there would not be any biased, reactions in between the religions over there. So he treated everybody equally. All people were his subjects, whether it be Hindu, whether it be Muslim, or any other religion. Okay, here we can see if a war broke out during the period of sowing, growing, and reaping of crops, there would be no limit to the loss of farmers. Not only would the movements of army interfere with the work of sowing, but the soldiers would cut off and take away standing crops or would destroy them. They would rob the houses of farmers. Shivaji Maharaj had ordered the officers to prohibit its soldiers from such actions. The letter written by Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj in 1674 to his military officers is very important in this regard. It shows how minutely Shivaji Maharaj thought about the discipline in the army. If you harass and trouble the subjects belonging to different castes by robbing them of their grains, fodder, grass, vegetables, etc., those subjects would leave their houses and migrate elsewhere. Many of them would starve to death. It would be as if you are more atrocious than the Mughals. They would be great uproar. So this is regarding Shivaji's Maharaj discipline in the army. So many rules he had made for the soldiers to be followed. He told that if they would try to harass the people, there would not be much difference between the Mughals and them, and there would be great uproar, there would be great confusion, lot of anger would be there amongst the people, and the soldiers were strictly warned not to interfere in the sowing, growing, and the reaping process of the farmers. Yes, in order also prohibited for the officers to order the officers to prohibit the soldiers from such actions. Okay, and this letter was written to the soldiers as well, as to where strict instructions were given to them regarding the discipline. Okay, next, inspiration for freedom. Shivaji Maharaj has proved an inspiration for freedom not only in the medieval period but even in today's time. Shivaji Maharaj's effort to establish Swaraj is valuable. It is the value of freedom. So whatever efforts he did for the establishment of Swaraj is quite valuable. And because of this, it is the value of freedom. Because Swaraj means self-rule. We wanted his own rule, free from any dominance. Maharaj did not accept the dominance of any other power. Yes, so that is why he called it Swaraj. Swar means self-rule, not to be dominated by any other power. While struggling against the foreign powers, Maharaj inspired others for freedom. So while Shivaji Maharaj was struggling against the Adil Shah, the Mughals, the Siddhi, whatever activities he had undertaken, whatever he did for the freedom of Swaraj, for the establishment of Swaraj, proved to be an inspiration to others for their freedom. One example is that Maharaj inspired Chhatrasal to create an independent kingdom in Bundelkhand. Yes, Bundelkhand is in the northern part of India. So the king over there was inspired by Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj to create his own independent kingdom in Bundelkhand. Fine. So that is how Shivaji Maharaj inspired others for freedom as well. Now, the most important part, greatness of Maharaj's work. Yes, let's see what is the greatness of Maharaj's work. Maharaj was very intelligent and mastered many arts, as well as he was conversant with many languages. Yes, like we have already seen in his childhood, Shivaji Maharaj was given excellent education academically as well as in other arts, in weapons, use of weapons as well. And also he was conversant, means he was very well versed with many other languages as well. There was a blend of character and strength, nobility and valor in his personality. So Shivaji Maharaj's personality was such that he was strong, he had a good character, he was noble by nature, as well as valor. Valor means bravery. Yes, so all these qualities was blended in his strong personality. He had innumerable qualities like leadership, management, foresight, political diplomacy, effective policy about regional and military administration, commitment to truth and justice, alertness, vigilance, and many more. Oh my god, these are only few which we have listed down. There are many more to it. Yes, the qualities, innumerable qualities of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, which were there. Leadership, yes, he was an excellent leader. Management, we saw his organizational skill, how he had had the Ashtapradhan Mandal as well, his administration. Foresight means futuristic views he had. Political diplomacy in the sense like he tried to make friends on political terms with whomever was possible. Like when the Treaty of Purandar was signed, that was a step taken as political diplomacy. Effective policy about regional and military administration, that we have seen. Even the navy, which he had decided, he had decided to have a navy of his own. Commitment to truth and justice, alertness, vigilance, and many more. So many of qualities of Shivaji Maharaj is being listed over here. He used to punish those who would misbehave with women. Yes, he respected women, whether it be of any caste, whether Hindu or religion. He was a person who would respect women, and he, not only that, he also punished those who would mistreat, who would misbehave a with any woman. He used to take care of all sections of the society, means whether it be a or any section, whether it be a farmer or an artisans, anybody, a poor, rich, whoever were there, they were all taken care of by Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. He established bonds with people from other religions as well. Yes, like in his army, in his navy, there were people from other religions as well. We saw Siddhi Lal, Siddhi Ibrahim, and Daulat Khan. There was a special bond established between all the people. They were working for him. Even the other who was subjects, a special bond was built between the subjects as well as Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, people who belong to other religions. At that time, there was opposition on religious grounds to crossing the seas. Yet, he built sea forts like Sindhudurg and created a navy. So, in those times, there were a lot of beliefs which people, we might find it very strange in now. So, there was an opposition on religious grounds to crossing the seas. So, in today's time, when we tell that according to our religion, you cannot cross the seas, so you will be called a fool. Yes, but at those times, there was a lot of opposition on religious grounds crossing the seas. Shivaji Maharaj ignored that and he built a sea fort. Yes, Sindhudurg, the great Sindhudurg, and created a navy as well. That is, Shivaji Maharaj is called as the father of Indian Navy, isn't it? His two coronations show his revolutionary aspect in the field of religion. We already seen that he had two coronations. Yes, so both his coronations were performed in two different ways. Yeah, so that shows that he had his revolutionary aspects, a breaking, you can say, new way aspect in the field of religion. He would face threats to Swaraj with or without his associates. Yes, whatever threats were there with Swaraj, he would go to face it with along with his associates or without his associates. So for this reason, his associates were ready to sacrifice their lives for Swaraj. It was not a condition where Shivaji, if any threat was faced by Swaraj, so Shivaji Maharaj would not always send his associates. There were times where even he used to go alone without his associates. So all his associates who were there, they were ready. So they saw that how Shivaji Maharaj was taking care of them, and they were ready. For that very reason, they were ready to sacrifice their lives for Swaraj. He wanted to have an ethical, qualitative base to the Swaraj. See, means ethical means full of morals, good virtues, quality which should be there. For all this base of Swaraj should be good, should be strong with ethics and good qualities. That is why he gave orders even regarding minor issues along with important ones. So, for that very reason, he gave orders. Even if a small mistake was being done, those were also punished as well as the important ones also. So minor, even if a single person of his subject of his was suffering from something, that was also being paid attention to and attention to, as well as along with the important matters as well. Okay, in our national movement, Maharaj was a great source of inspiration. How? Mahatma Jyotirao Phule has described in his Povadas the greatness of Maharaj. Yes, there's a long list as to how his Shivaji Maharaj has proved to be a great source of inspiration. So Mahatma Jyotirao Phule described his greatness in his the greatness of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj in his Povadas. Lokmanya Tilak brought about national awakening through the medium of Shiva Jayanti celebrations. Yes, we have Shiva Jayanti celebrations every year, that we in the month of February, that is in 19th February. Yes, then Lala Lajpat Rai has written about his greatness as well. Tamil poet Subramanyam Bharati has written a poem on Maharaj. So it was not only limited to Maharashtra children. See, even a Tamil poet, yes, had written about his greatness. Not only in Tamil Nadu, even in Bengal. Yes, we'll see about it. Over here we have Mahatma Jyotirao Phule composed a Povada in 1869 CE on Shivaji Maharaj. A part of it is given over here. शिवाचा गजर जय नामाचा झेंडा रोविला, क्षेत्राच्या मेळा मावळ्याच्या शिकार खेळला, माते पायी ठेवी डोई गर्व नाही काडीचा, आशीर्वाद घेई आईचा, आला बला गेई आवडता होतो जिजीचा, पवाडा गातो शिवाजीचा, कुळवाडी भूषण पवाडा गातो भोसल्याचा छत्रपती शिवाजीचा. So this is a povada. There's a peculiar tone used to sing that povada. I just read it for you. It's describing about the greatness of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. It was written by Mahatma Jyotirao Phule. Okay, next. Like how Tamil poet Subramanyam Bharati had written a poem about it, Vishwakavi Rabindranath Tagore has also written a long poem on Maharaj. In the book Shivaji and His Times, Sir Jadunath Sarkar has praised Maharaj. Pandit Nehru has said that Maharaj did not belong to Maharashtra alone, he belonged to the whole Indian nation. He was a symbol of many virtues, more especially of love of country. So over here, you can see so many people have written about the greatness of Shivaji Maharaj. These are few to be which we are seeing. There are many more than this. Yes. So Jadunath Sarkar has praised about Shivaji Maharaj in his book Shivaji and His Times. Vishwakavi Rabindranath Tagore, Subramanyam Bharati, they have written poem on Maharaj. Povada was written on Shivaji Maharaj by Jyotirao Phule. So the celebration of Shiv Jayanti was started with the initiative of Lokmanya Tilak. Pandit Nehru has also said that Maharaj did not belong to Maharashtra alone, but the whole nation. And he is a symbol of many virtues, good qualities, more especially of love for country. So he showed through his virtues, through his actions, Shivaji Maharaj showed how much he loved his country. Okay. Now, in today's time, future generations too will continue to look upon this work of Shivaji Maharaj of founding the Swaraj and turning it into a Surajya as a source of inspiration, as an ideal. Yes, see, this work of Shivaji Maharaj was done way back, many years back. Yes, but even in today's time, yes, there are many people who take Shivaji Maharaj as their role model, as their inspiration, and in the future generations to come also will look up to the work, will admire the work of Shivaji Maharaj as to of founding of Swaraj and turning it into Suraj, a good rule, a good place to settle, a good kingdom, as a source of inspiration, as an ideal. And for all these reasons, Shivaji Maharaj can be called and should be called a great national hero. Yes, Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj was a great national hero. Even if you go to the parliament, you will have an image of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj along with the national leaders of our country as well, because he is a great national hero of our country. Not only that, not only in India, other countries also have taken interest in the history of Shivaji Maharaj as well, and they look up to the work done by Shivaji Maharaj, which also inspire them to do such things for their own country. Yes, so that is the greatness of Shivaji Maharaj is so vast which cannot be compiled into words. Yes, that is why he's called as an ideal ruler. The lesson which we are learning, chapter 8, an ideal ruler and a great national hero. Yes, so over here we finish our lesson, chapter number 8, an ideal ruler. Yes, children, hope you have understood this. You've understood this and also learned a lesson as to it, how you have to be passionate towards your country. Fine. So taking a note from this, let's meet again next time with a new lesson. Till then, stay safe. Have a good day, children. Sai Ram.